we're still with you and today's edition of Cairo Local Time. And of course, as promised earlier, we have a very interesting topic today under discussion, which is the latest exhibition called Turathna, or a heritage or handicrafts exhibition, which was inaugurated by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi earlier this week. The exhibition features 620 artisans and entrepreneurs and more than 45 civil society organizations, and of course it is dedicated to the government's Upper Egyptian Development Program. Now we're delighted to be joined this afternoon in the studio by our guest, Engineer Samir Sami, the economic expert. A very good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you so much for coming in this afternoon. Right, Engineer Samir, let's talk a bit about the inauguration. During the inauguration of the exhibition, President el-Sisi affirmed the state's keenness to support the young craftsmen, young entrepreneurs, raise their manufacturing capacity and capabilities. Tell us a bit about the importance of this sector, small, medium enterprises, for the national economy.
The aim of the president and the aim of everybody in Egypt is to raise the standard of living.
Yes.
And to increase the income of the individual. And this can be occurred only by working. He mentioned several times, work is the key to get a better standard of living.
Yes.
And definitely, if we look at our export, we find that we exported in 2019 only $30.2 billion. And this is, you know, with a country with over 100 million people, we are supposed to do better. A country like Vietnam, for example, they are exporting $192 billion. South Africa, $90 billion. And definitely, he is targeting us that we increase our export.
Yes.
And definitely by doing what he is doing and his aim and the infrastructure and all of these things, which is the Prime Minister and the government and our president is trying to pass us a message.
Yes.
And this message is very, very important that we take it very serious.
Indeed. Engineer Samir, let's talk a bit about the obstacles that face young entrepreneurs. The president himself pledged really to try and eliminate or eradicate these obstacles facing young entrepreneurs and craftsmen. What are some of these challenges in your opinion, sir?
Well, the challenges are, you know, we are inheriting a lot of problems. We have to be honest. They are mentioning that once upon a time, 100 years ago, we had 4 million faddan, and we were 4 million people. That means everyone has got one faddan. Today, we are 100 million people, or over 100 million people, and we have got 7 million faddan. This is passing a message that it means our food, which we were supplied, is not anymore available. That is why we have to look at it. You know, this is statistics which they made, and this comparison which they made is very, very important. And definitely through this, we can learn a lot and we can do a lot.
Indeed. Engineer Samir, let's talk a bit about the specific sector. Small, medium enterprises are becoming more and more common, are becoming more and more lucrative, and more specifically youngsters are keen to embark on their small, medium enterprise projects. Why are small, medium enterprises needed, and why are they important, and what role do they have in enriching the Egyptian economy?
This is, of course, is important to increase, you know, first, you know, to occupy the people, you know, that they will have a job. And number two is to get products which is needed for the market. And, you know, number three is definitely, you know, if it is connected to the big units, you know, this can be achieved as well through that we have got a lot of ideas now that in Al Ubayyah they are making work next to your house or something like this. These projects and all of these projects that will generate, you know, products and generate money, and it will increase, you know, and it will develop a lot of stuff which is needed in the market, number one. Number two, it will decrease the unemployment in the market. And this is always important. And we had this all the time. You know, we have got tailoring, we have got all of this. This is what the small individuals. But today, we have to provide them with the raw material, to provide them with the market. And here I have to mention something. The market has to be looked at. You know, definitely the department stores and the chains is needed in the market. Once upon a time, we used to have this
Lots
kind,
of the old ones, yes, of
and
course.
now we don't have as much as we.
Which leads me to my next question, the issue of marketing, as
Yes.
you said. Is local marketing enough, or do we need to look abroad?
No, we have to look at. We have to improve the local market. We have to have the transparency of the product in the market. We have to have the competition in the market. We cannot have a piece of cake for 50 pounds and 100 pounds. This is no, because there is failing the competition. The monopoly is still existing in the market. We have to supply the market with, you know, with what is needed. You know, it should be equal to the demand.
Indeed. Now, the handicraft sector is also a very interesting sector, really, that is being supported by agencies like the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, MSMEDA. And handicrafts are very unique in the fact that they are unique to every country, really. They are unique to our specific heritage, our specific culture, etc. Tell me, how are they important, in your opinion, and essential in this specific area of production?
We are inheriting this from the Pharaoh time, you know, and we are a country which possessing this kind of art. And definitely, you know, we shouldn't allow it to be demolished, and we should increase it, and we should make something out of it and make it an international, not only local. And definitely we look at it, you know, positively.
Indeed. In Egypt, we have a high percentage of youngsters and youth. And you mentioned an issue, a very important issue, which is that small, medium enterprises could also be an answer to unemployment. It is a provision of a job opportunity. How can this be the most benefit out of these small, medium enterprises?
We have to organize it in a way. First, you know, the market, what is needed in the market, and you know, and the relationship between the education and the demand of the market. This we have to establish a relation and a link between both of them to enable us to supply the market with what is needed, and we don't depend on import of a lot of things. You know, we have to minimize the import, and we have to you know, to increase the export.
Indeed. Engineer Samir, let me ask you, what kind of support do young entrepreneurs need, especially in the beginning of any project that they're about to embark on?
We used to have individual teachers, which is the father. Everybody was inheriting the job of his father,
Yes.
you know, and he was the best teacher. And unfortunately, this has been decreased a lot. And this we want to bring it again, you know, to enable us that from generation to generation that we can get, you know, the know-how and the knowledge from, and the best teacher is the father to his son.
And also lots of international organizations and funds and banks provide financing for this kind of entrepreneurship. Do entrepreneurs need funding often?
They need a lot of things. Funding is one of them. It's not all, but we are, you know, focusing a lot on funding. But you know, the know-how, the market, the raw material providers, all of these things is needed, you know, to enable that individual to have an easy way of overcoming the problem which he may face it.
And what are some of the non-financial services that these entrepreneurs could need, whether it's advertising or marketing, or well, I suppose they're also related to finance, but what other non-financial services do you think would enrich
If we
these
are
projects?
organizing the market itself, they will provide them with finance. We will provide this individual with finance. That is why we have to have more organized marketing, and we have to have the chains, and we have to have that the individual can sell his goods in a easy way, and he can produce according to the demand of the market. He cannot produce anything which is is not suitable for the market. That's why the market will tell him what to do.
Indeed. Now let's talk a bit about, for example, this project and how important these small medium enterprises are in providing opportunities, especially with relation to the development of certain sectors, certain areas, geographical areas in Egypt. For example, Upper Egypt.
Right.
Upper Egypt is a very rich and fertile area for development, lots of potential, and lots of projects are geared towards this area, the specific place of Upper Egypt. How do you think these projects can be used to reach out to rural development specifically?
You mentioned something which I always, feel that we had neglected it for a long time, is Upper Egypt. Once upon a time, a village was with certain amount of people. Definitely, after years and years and years, the development of these villages has been, and the number of the population has been increasing,
yes.
and the automation and the improvement of the means of agriculture and so on made these people that they have got a lot of lack of work. That's why we have to go there and create, what is friendly for the environment, and we have to provide these villages with factories, with individuals, which they can provide us with some products and so on. There is a lot of things which we can do in those villages, because there is a lot of time wastage in those areas and a lot of people without work.
Also in these villages that you mentioned, sir, there are lots of youth as well as women.
Right.
Women empowerment is another major focus of the current administration, as well as President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. And such projects are really a great opportunity for Egyptian women from these areas to really embark on their own.
Right. There is a lot of industries which can be provided and can be made in those villages, like ready-made garments, like shoes, like leather work, bedding. There is a lot of things which we can do it. Only we need the statistic and the people and the guidance, and definitely we are capable of providing these people with work. And definitely we have to look at it positively, and we have to look at it from this point of view to enable us to meet with the requirements of our president, that we have to export over $100 billion, which I believe that is, if we put ourselves in a position to explore the possibilities in those villages, definitely we will reach there.
Indeed. And also these projects have a great advantage of the snowball effect. If you go to an area or a governorate, for example, a town or a small village in Upper Egypt, assist with a small medium enterprise in the area of handicrafts, for example, or traditional, as you said, garments or wear or carpets or artifacts or whatever. Usually if it is being run, they employ more women, they employ more youngsters, more youth, providing more job opportunities for the specific, maybe underrepresented sector.
Right. Definitely the government looked at the infrastructure as a major thing, and this is very important today, that the roads and the infrastructure and the improvement of the rails and improvement of all of these things made this possible, because definitely to enable these people to get the raw material and to sell their product, they need the transportation. And definitely when our president looked at it, and he is focusing on it right from the beginning, he is absolutely right. And definitely this will make big changes in Upper Egypt.
Indeed. How do you see the policy, or how successful is the policy of providing low-interest loans for the new small medium enterprises, in your opinion?
Everything which is going to minimize the cost of the product, this will be a positive thing, on the selling and on the cost of the product, and definitely one of them is the interest rate, which if we decrease it as much as we can, but this can be only done by increasing the standard of living and having a better economy.
So it's a circle, really.
Exactly.
It follows up.
Exactly.
And even people who get these loans, low interest loans, end up taking out more loans to further expand their business or their project. Is this a viable option in your opinion?
Yes, it is. You know, in a way it is. You know, the whole thing, it is linked together, and it is one with the other. It is, you know, and definitely if the standard of living is raising up and our economy is getting stronger, definitely the decrease of the interest rate will come down, you know, automatically. That's why it is a vicious circle which we are in it.
Indeed. And during the coronavirus pandemic that we're currently dealing with the consequences of, a lot of industries did struggle. However, others seem to flourish really and pick up. How do you see small, medium enterprises faring when it comes to the repercussions economically of the coronavirus pandemic?
Thank God, I believe our government handled this crisis in a very good way.
Indeed.
And definitely the position of Egypt that between three continents and the increasement of the export of the, you know, agriculture product made, you know, the economy stronger, and there was some positive things because of this coronavirus, and some, of course, you know, some negative things, but hopefully that we can go through it and we can survive, and we are surviving, thank God, you know, and we are doing much better.
And how do you see the Egyptian economy faring with regards to the upcoming period?
I'm looking forward to the future very much, and I believe we have done the base, we have done the infrastructure, we have done a lot of things, and the government is using the scientific ways and the ideas and the statistics, and they know what they are doing, and definitely our people are making a very good progress with the government rules and government you know, instruction, and I hope that we can meet with the requirement of our presidency.
Indeed. And Egypt is a very unique country in its geography. It is well positioned, whether in Africa, in the middle, between Asia, Europe. Tell me, how does this give Egypt an edge when it comes to import and export specifically of such products as these?
Yes, it's very, very important. Today, you know, the time factor became a very, very crucial issue.
Yes.
And we are not far away from Europe. We are only a few hours from Europe.
Indeed.
A boat will take 7 to 8 days to reach, you know, Germany, or to reach middle of Europe, which is a very short time. All of this is advantages, which we are exploding it, and we are getting, you know, the outcome of it, and hopefully that we can use it in a positive way for our economy.
And in Egypt itself plays a very important link,
of course,
between, for example, Europe, Asia, and the rest of the African continent.
Exactly. And hopefully that we have got a very good chance that we can penetrate and we can use the raw material of Africa, and we can have a better relationship with all the African nations economically. And our president, right from the beginning, he cared about this very much, and definitely this is the future, and we should, you know, increase our export to Africa. Absolutely.
Right. I'd like to thank you very, very much. Our guest for this afternoon, Engineer Samir Sami, the economic expert. Thank you so much for coming in this afternoon and for all your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's all the time we have for today's episode of Cairo Local Time. We do hope you have enjoyed it. You were in the company of myself and Jumeirah. Many thanks for watching, and join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for another edition with a different crew. Till then, it's goodbye.